Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Blessings and favor to you all. Good Monday morning. Good morning. Good Monday morning. Good morning to you, you, and you. Good morning. When you come in, say, hey, hey. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Simone. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Blessings and favor to you from God our Father. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I pray that all is well with you all this morning. Good morning. Good morning to you from wherever you are logging in this morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm so glad to be on with you all today. Good morning. Good morning. I think this is getting a little wonky. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you to everybody that's popping in. If you would go ahead and share. I jumped in a little late this morning. I was reading what I wanted to speak about this morning, and it just got a little bit, time got a little past me. Good morning, Robinette. Good morning, Minister Kim. Good morning, Latifa. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Gloria. Good morning. Good morning, Ariana. Good morning, everybody. Good Monday morning. Good morning from wherever you are in the world. Thank you for saying good morning. Thank you all so much for sharing. Share. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to give you back some of your time because I was a little late this morning. Today, we're going to dive into spiritual maturity. Spiritual maturity. I was reading in the book of Proverbs. Now, let me tell you, first of all, yesterday I went to a worship experience here in Texas. Good morning, Wendy. I went to a worship experience here in Texas. I have been asking the Lord to just really connect me in relationship with those in the kingdom. It was told to me that this hour that God is ushering in new ears for my voice. God is ushering in relationships. So fear not the sever in this season, for God is doing something new. And not only is he doing something new as it pertains to who I'm talking to, if you would, but he's doing something new within me so that I can be receptive of the love and receptive. How many of you all can honestly say, those that can type, those that can comment, that God is doing something new as it pertains to your relationships? It does not mean that he is causing about new as far as people you don't know. That could be the case, but he's also doing something new as it pertains to you. Come on. He's doing something new as it pertains to me. He's putting me in such a place and in such a mindset that I am being, how's the word I'm looking? I'm being more receptive. I'll just be honest about me. Y'all know I don't mind. I'm being more receptive as it pertains to the relationships, not just allowing them to come, but being honest in my relationship back with them. I'm communicating. I'm actually reaching out. I'm allowing them to love on me. I'm allowing myself to love on them. I'm embracing this new place that God has in relationship. And I believe, can I be honest, where I'm concerned, how I am with the relationship one to another is also showing me an even greater revelation as it pertains to relationship with the Father, as it pertains to my relationship with the Lord. And so this morning, I want to talk about spiritual maturity. And yesterday, I went to a service. My mom went with me. And I just want to say that we had a conversation on our way. And the entire conversation, feelings that I have been having in my own prayer space, and the things that I was sharing in the car, even things that she said, the man of God spoke spoke not only from across the pulpit, the very things I needed to hear, but then at the end of worship, he said, "Woman of God, raise your hand." And he began to speak into my life. Now, let me tell you, have you ever been in a place where someone started speaking into your life where you're just like, okay, can you get out of my business just a little bit? Maybe that's only me. I'll be honest. I could tell on myself, I'll stay safe that way. But I said, look, you can get up off me now. Get about my business. Get on about my business. Go ahead now. But I needed to hear everything that to say. And I was so honored that God, we say the scripture, but here it is. Who am I that you are mindful of me? Who am I, God, that you are mindful of me? And that's exactly how I felt yesterday, that God was mindful of my prayers. God was mindful of my tears. God was mindful of my mind chatter. Come on. That's that place that we go to where we're communicating with ourselves when we start formulating what it is that's really happening, how we talk ourselves into and talk ourselves out of. I said, God, you are mindful of it all. And so yesterday's focus was the very thing that I already had written down, and actually outside of this have been already reading for myself. This has really been a season, for some, they probably would say, well, I haven't really seen you ministering and traveling. Well, let me go ahead and clue you into a couple of things. First of all, this has been a still season for me because God has been doing something with me because of what's to come. Not only that, there are things that I've denied. Come on. I denied, Come on, Apostle Anita. You're testifying already. You were present. And here's the thing. I denied certain things because I was not in a position or place. There were some places that the Lord told me I cannot go. There were some things that the Lord said I cannot do because he needed to steal me away to a place. And I know it sounds real good and churchy, but no, there will be seasons where God will almost take you off the scene. And while others may think you've given up, think you have written it off, think you're not this and that and whatever else they try to come up with, because we already know that when people don't have the facts, they'll make up the fiction. They'll fill in every blank when they cannot fill out what the void is. But there are times where God will steal you away because he's trying to prepare you. And here's one of the things that the men of God said yesterday that I dropped right here for what I'm going to say today. He said, for where God is taking you, what would not work for where I'm going. Can I talk to y'all real good this morning? And I only got but so many minutes because I already was a little tardy to the party. But what you had going on for you, and I need you to hear me good and hear me great with your ear. Thank you all for coming on, and thank you so much for sharing. That what you did in the last place will not work in the next place. Understand, even though there was success in your last, does not mean it will work in your next. That what it is that you came to do, came to understand, came to formulate, came to even appreciate because of the outcome is what was the prerequisite. Understand, when you're in college or certain other things, I just use college because my daughter's in school right now. When you are going into college, I remember for me that there were certain prerequisites I had to meet in order for me to be accepted into a certain place. Come on here. I had to show that I was ready to receive the level of material and the level of experience. Can I say it like that? I had to show that I was at a certain level that proved that I was ready for the next that came with that acceptance, that level, that experience. I had to show that I would be able to maintain. I need you to hear me real good, that when we're going into certain classes, the prerequisite is beyond just material on the paper. The reality of the prerequisite is she or he going to be able to maintain if we let them into the next? Are we setting them up for failure, or are we setting them up for the success? But your prerequisite is your moment and opportunity to show that I'm able to hang in there. I'm able to understand understand, appreciate, and receive what it is that you have set up for me. And I need you all to understand that whatever it is that you have been doing, whether it's your prayer life, your worship, whether it has been how you even attend service. Listen, I'm not just minimizing it to ministry. I'm also talking about as it pertains to your life. Are you eating the way you used to? Are you exercising the way you used to? Are you handling your business the same way? Are you going out there and having everything as it pertains to you? Are you in the same place, or are you proving yourself to be ready for the next place? Because here's the kicker. In order for us to see the great, this is the year of the great. That's what we've been declaring, right? The great. This is the year of the great. And we understand that not only are we going to see the great, but it is going to take great faith. Come on. But this morning, understand that in order to come into it, you have to understand that God is requiring a greater revelation of it. Come on, this morning, somebody just declare more. Just declare more. More, more, more. Just declare more. If you can, flood the screen with the word more. Just begin to flood the screen with more. If you're not able to type, just begin to put the thumbs and the hearts. Just flood the screen with more. Come on, more. This is not because I want you to call. Hey, listen, I already want you to share and call some people to come in so that you're not holding on to this all by yourself. But this is bigger than that. This is our prophetic gesture that we have gotten up this morning. We didn't just get up to hear a thing. We got up corporately to receive something. That's why we've been getting up. No, you can log on to any other live, but you happened on this live at this moment. And because you're in this space at this moment, might I take advantage of the opportunity and come into agreement with your more? Can we come together corporately for each other's more? More, more, more. It's going to require more in order for you to see more. It's going to require more. You have to understand that you have to get a greater revelation of what it is that God is desiring. That's how you're going to come to embrace the more. You will, God, let me say it like this. You could get a bag of groceries, right? And the bag that you're looking at, it could just be one bag, right? It could be one bag. And the one bag that you're looking at, you, by all looking at it, you could minimize it to the fact it's just one bag. It's just one bag. One bag. What am I going to do with one bag? But because you didn't take the time to look into it, meaning to dig deeper, you might have limited it because you saw the external of the thing. I just see one bag. What's one bag going to do? But if you examine it, if you take the time to look into it, inside of that one bag could be 27 pieces, depending on how big the bag is, depending how they pack the bag, depending upon the items of the bag. I've already given you 3 insightful things to investigate as far as the bag is concerned. But if you only see the one bag, then you might miss everything that's inside the experience, the next place, this now place even that you're in. If you minimize it by what you see, you might miss the fullness of what God has for you. And so today we declare more. We're saying, God, more. Spiritual maturity says that I have to, we say it from faith to faith, from glory to glory. We've been so caught on with levels, but I'm not moving from level to level. I'm moving from dimension to dimension. It's from glory to glory. That means I'm taking it to an accelerated place. This morning, you have to say, even as you're driving, even as you're dressing, even as you're cooking, even as you're fixing your hair, whatever it is that you're doing right now, as you're looking at me, as I'm talking to you, that God, I want more. I don't want you to think, God, my more is limited to what you give to me in material things, but God, do a more work internally. I want to see them more externally, but God, I also want you to do more internally. Do more on the inside. Give me greater understanding. Open up my eyes to see more. Open up my heart to receive more. Open up my spirit to come into an even greater place. God, do something more with my mind. Do something more with my ears. Do something more with my hands. Do something more with how I do and move and operate. Listen, because it's in you that we move, breathe, and have my being. So God, in the moving that I have, God, in the steps that are already ordered by you, God, I want more. Maturity. And let me give you this, and I'm out. For real. I was in Proverbs. Y'all get the opportunity and read Proverbs chapter number 4. Make your note. Proverbs chapter number 4. Proverbs chapter number 4. The part that I want to dive here is in verse number 13. It says, hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. There's an emphasis at the beginning, at the top of the chapter, where it says, get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Listen, Proverbs chapter number 4 talks about wisdom, get wisdom at any cost. That's how the heading is for me. But understand, at the top of the chapter, it tells you, get it, go get some wisdom, get some, go get some. You want everything else? Well, ask God, give me some wisdom. But at the top of it, it says, listen, hold on to it and don't let it go. If you understand the interpretation as you're reading through the chapter, I wish I had the time, but I'm moving. It'll get you to understand that not only will getting it in this capacity is beyond just a speaking of it, but it's in an essence of purchase. When you're asking for wisdom in this portion of the text, it's saying as if you're making a purchase, as if you're going to the store to buy it. That's the level of how I'm getting it, that I understand the significance of getting it is going to cost me. I need some people to get it this morning because I only got a good 10. I already skipped 4, so I got a good 10 and I got to roll. But verse number 13 tells it like this: hold on to it. So once you get it, it says don't turn away from it at the top of the chapter. But by 13, it says, listen, I need you to hold on to it. I need you to grab hold of it. I need you to lock in on it. I need you to embrace it. I don't care if you got to shackle yourself to it. Hold on to it. Here it is. It says, don't let it go. Guard it well. When you go and buy something, and I've already said this to my children, and I'm sure you, even if you don't have any children personally, you've encountered children, you've entered conversations with people that talk about this one little phrase right here, right? You hear it all the time where they say children don't appreciate the significance of a thing that they don't have to pay for. So they'll tear up clothes and shoes and toys and things because they didn't have to pay for it, right? That's kind of how we limit it with them, because until they start doing chores or things on their own, right? Okay, but understand that this is, if that's the case, then can I submit to you in that same theory a childlike mentality? Not that you are childish, but let's use immaturity for a moment. Immaturity, if you would, because that's pretty much what we're saying, that they're in an immature place where they've yet to come to appreciate and understand the value of a thing, right? Well, understand that this is the liken unto us even as adults. God, I know, don't log off. Stay right there. Don't leave. You logged in. Go ahead and take this now. We're going to have a good Monday. But here it is. It's likened the same. As adults, when we take for granted the wisdom that God has given unto us, when we take for granted, when we go to worship after worship, when we read scripture after scripture, here I'm getting ready to mess somebody up here. Even when you're singing and you're listening to your worship, and the person that sat down and wrote that song because it ministered to them through by God, and they took what God was ministering through them and they put it onto paper and attached notes to it, and you riding around and you singing it and you talking about that's my song and oh, it hits my avenue and all that other stuff. There is another opportunity of worship that has brought you into wisdom, and as we come out of it, we leave what it is that we just encountered with it. You came into worship, girl. Worship was good. Pastor was preaching. Oh, we shouted. We did somersaults all over the chairs. Even this is the topic that he or she ministered on. But as you walk out of it, the very experience that you had in it, you didn't take home with you. I didn't say the experience of shouting or the singing. I'm talking about the coming into the wisdom that was dropped on you, that left you in a place where you said, I need to ponder on that. I need to go and read that. I need to go and study that. I need to go and apply that. Like in the same, because we encounter it, we encounter it. Some of us dare to experience it, but then we don't hold on to it. The Bible says in Proverbs, hold on to it. Listen, don't let it go. Here's the part, and I got to go for real. It says, for it is your life. That's the part that messed me up. For it is your life. It is your life. You're wondering certain things, but you didn't allow that last season to minister to you in such a way that you gained knowledge. Here we go. And wisdom. Knowledge is the learning piece. Wisdom is the application piece. I learned it. Now, God, I apply it so that I now can go on from it, grow from it, move on with, hold on to it. Romans 12:1, we already can quote it in our sleep. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is our reasonable service. Here's the part. We say that in our sleep, but we forget about verse number 2. 2 says, here we go, do not conform to the pattern of this world. Here we go. But what? Be ye transformed by the renewing, come on here, of your mind. It says, then you will be able to test. Then you'll go back to the top of it. It says, listen, in one interpretation from someone, this is not even necessarily biblical, but this is how the person personified what they read. They said, listen, where it says, therefore, I urge you. They said, listen, I admonish you to do the right thing by doing something that's even a form of unscripted worship, an intentional worship, and that is giving your body unto God. You all that are watching me this morning, that are listening to me now and on the replay, God bless you for coming in this morning and for sharing. I urge you, I admonish you to do an unscripted thing. I want you to do an intentional thing, and I want you to present your body to God. Here we go. People don't like that part. Here it is, because listen, it's just the right thing to do. I'm reading Romans 12:1, but I want you to go further this morning, and I want you to understand. It says, do not conform to the pattern of this world. The interpreter said, don't mold yourself into the ways of this world. So this morning, I'm urging you, and I got to go after this. Don't mold yourself. I was listening to the man of God speak on yesterday, and he said something so clear that pretty much aligned with this, because we are supposed to be in it, but we're not of it. And can I just keep it real right here? Because this is us this morning. That is so easy to say, but so very difficult to do. Because for some of us, I don't want to be alone, nor do I want to be lonely. And this is not even going so far as an intimacy thing. I'm talking about the simplistics of, can I bring it to your avenue where you all really for real feeling me this morning? I want people that like my posts. I want people that share the things that I'm doing. I want people, and I'm going to tell y'all something real good, real quick. And I'm not poking fun at anybody, because that's not even me. That's not my heart. But I want to share something of my heart. I'm going to just pour it here, and then I'm going to pray. And I could go any further, but here we go. When I had my celebration luncheon in Norfolk last month, when I had it in May, and I was so excited because when I initially put up the tickets, it was on my heart to do it for free. And I did it though, but I initially did it as a charge because, people had gotten into my ears and they was like, you got to stop doing it for free. You got to stop, y'all forgive me, hot flashes are real. You got to stop doing it for free, because that's not, allowing people to invest in and seed into the purpose in which you're doing and how you're operating. And I got it. Trust me, I get it. But it's just something in my heart that not every time can I charge for a thing, that sometimes it's really on my heart to do it for free. And so after I charged, it was like 2 days later, I said, I can't do it. I got to do it for free. And so the people that had registered, I said to them, would you like a refund? They said, I don't want a refund. I want to seed into what you're doing. So the very thing I was told, okay, but I'm not knocking anybody that came for free. I'm really not. I have to, it's funny because you have to walk on eggshells when you're saying things, because although people know your heart, they're still always looking for a way to condemn your heart. So please, I pray that nobody somebody is feeling a certain type of way about what I'm saying. I just want to get to the point of the text. And so when it came time for the registration, I promise you it sold out in about 24 to 48 hours. The number of tickets I did, it was gone in 2 days, and that was great. But ask me, from that time to that day, did the magnitude of the people show up? And I want you all to hear my heart. I get things happen. So I'm not saying that. I'm talking, if I can be the human, because sometimes I believe that those that are in leadership and those that are a representation of the kingdom, it's very, very tricky when it comes to sharing our humanistic side, because it's our vulnerability on display, and people will utilize that against you, or they'll utilize it to hurt you. But I'm out here now, so I'm rolling. For those that registered, I was looking for every single one of them. And things happen. Some people couldn't come because of things that happened. So I get it. Trust me, I really get it. But can I just share my human heart? It still hurt me to not see them come. You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, it made me feel like that I didn't have support. And that could be the farthest from the truth. There was somebody that was in a car accident. So their car was completely totaled, and they end up having to go to the hospital. Of course. I mean, my heart is not that hard. My heart is not, please, I care that you're alive. I would hate to have gotten a call. I'm not even going to go there because they're here. But the human side of me, my feelings was hurt. And in this season, and the man of God said it yesterday, that there was, and his wife as well, that there were certain relationships that God severed. So you've been asking, and I heard Pastor Kells was just saying it, where some of the strongest relationships that you've had seem to be so weak. And you're not even understanding. And Lord knows if that was not all in my prayer closet. And the man of God and his wife yesterday came to look at me and tell me that the reason that it happened was on purpose, because God was purifying your priest. Here's where I'm going with that. Because certain things happened the way that it did, because it was purifying. And here's what I heard God say, and perfecting the next place. That doesn't mean, and I'm not minimizing it to just relationships, I need you all to hear the human piece. That means, Kim, that means Lasmir, that means Linda, that when we're having those internal woe is me moments, can I just say I'm like that? That God is coming to tell us that the more that you're desiring is going to require more. And here's the thing, it is just not limited in what we would limit it to, but that also would include more as far as even where your emotions, as far as it comes to even relationships, because there's a greater revelation, there's a greater height, there's a greater depth that I'm taking you. And some of the things, that does not always mean it's at fault, but there is a maturity that has to come to a place where you cannot step back and always see it as of a negative, that maybe purposely that season is done, but I've allowed that relationship to withstand for the time, because it was really building you for the relationships that's to come. Where you may feel like nobody is there for you, open your eyes to see who does show up for you. While you feel like, God, you're taking things away from me, God says, but look at the things that I'm about to bring to you. See, that's what maturity. I'm using something like that because I don't mind being the example today, because we've all been in that place. We've all been in that place. God, why did you allow that to happen? But don't you see what's about to happen? God, how come you let me go through that? But do you see where I'm about to take you into? We have to, there is a greater, come on, women of God. Come on, men of God. Come on, kingdom. I'm talking to you this morning. Come on, kingdom. There is a higher place. There's a maturity that is being called for. And I'm going to leave you here because I'm over, and I want to just leave it like that today, that there are those of us that have put the finale of a thing. And I know that this is going to sound crazy, but I promise you, one of my favorite shows that I've come to love, I could not understand it at first, and I could not figure out why my mom was watching it. But now I have absolutely fallen in love with it, and it's The Big Bang Theory. And last night, I'm just fast forwarding to the point, and I promise you, I'm just going to log off here, knowing that I'm praying for you all today, and I'm sealing what we have discussed right here. They were in a position where they had been denied, a theory that they had been trying to prove. It seemed like it was wrong. And at that time of conversation, and at the time of being able to go back and forth, they came to realize that possibly what they thought was wrong in a different perspective may be right. Hear me. I'm still ministering right here, that there are certain aspects or different avenues that they had shut themselves off from, that they had now a different mindset and a different outlook, that potentially if I just shift it, it'll bring me to an even better outcome. But the thing that blessed me was a videotape that they were watching, and it was his father. And after speaking his coaching moment, because the tape was his father coaching his team, and this is what he said, and I'm logging off for real. The coach, who was the father of the person, here we go, he was talking to his team, and guess what? His team was losing. His team was losing. And he said to them, guys, we potentially are going to lose this game. No, let me just tell you, we're going to lose this one. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to lose this one. Yeah, we are. But I need you to understand, and I'm just formulating it in my own words here because it's really how I took it. But even in the loss, there's still a greater lesson. That even at this moment here, this is not the conclusion of a matter. This is really only the segue of an even greater place to come. And the response to the person looking was, this is not the end of the game. This is only halftime. I see some people crying this morning, but I need you to hear me. This, and I got to go too, because I just felt mine well up. This is not the conclusion of the matter. This is only halftime. This is only halftime. Even at that loss, even at what seemed like you didn't win, even when it seemed like that you weren't coming into what you believed. Because I even just said last night to my mom, I wish I could get this boutique off the ground the way I want it to be. I really wish I could get the investing, and just different things. And I said to myself, because if I don't, then I'm just going to close it all together. But then I heard that and I said, no, it's not the conclusion yet. This is merely only halftime. How befitting that I saw that when we're literally sitting in what we deem to be the half of the year. Yeah, the half of the year. But for some people, though, they believe because I didn't see it in the first half of the year, because I didn't see it in January, February, March, April, or even May, that possibly was the sign that it wasn't going to happen for me. Or that it was the sign that I wasn't going to come into a place, or that I wasn't going to receive. No. I need you to understand that God has not called the game. I need you to hear me, even in a loss. Because I believe that some of us this year, and I'm talking to myself, have already experienced some loss. And because you may have come into this year already experiencing loss, that you believe that that is going to be the outcome of your year. But have you ever considered the fact that the loss was just making room? I feel glory. I gotta go. I'm 6 minutes over. Have you ever considered the fact that the loss was really not a loss, but a let go? I needed you to let go so that your hands could be free. I needed you to let go so that your mind could be clear. I needed you to let go so that your heart could be right and your spirit could be ready. Because where I'm taking you and what I'm about to give you and what I'm about to do, and I'm not just talking in the material things. Oh God, the woman that I'm making you to be. Glory, I feel glory. The man that I'm preparing you to be. Did you ever consider that that was not a loss, but a let go so that you can receive what I have for you? Because there's great. Yeah. And we already declared there's more. God, more. There's more. But more sometimes cannot come until there's a loss. Can I help you get it? That before you can step onto the mountain, you first have to go through the valley. At the foot of every mountain is what's predicated to be a valley. You cannot take your first step onto the mountain until you have experienced the valley. And the valley is the what? The low place. the mountain is the high place. And before you can step your foot into your high place, I just need to see, will you press through your low place? Spiritual maturity this morning. Spiritual elevation is happening in your life. It's happening. It's uncomfortable. It's confusing. It's emotional. But you said you were ready. Your prerequisite performance. Without you even noticing the way you came through the last thing, the way you handled this thing, your response to that thing, without you even knowing it, show God that you are ready. So as you cry, dry your eyes, dry your eyes, dry your eyes. Let's get into the game. Come on. You saw the scoreboard. Yeah, maybe this game you got to take the L, but let it go. That wasn't a loss. That was a let go. Can I help you? Because the way you performed in this one, you didn't like how it happened. I don't know about you, but I told myself I won't do it in the next one. Come on, dry your eyes. Time to grow. Time to grow. Time to grow. Time to grow. Even humanistically, as a body, my son, I was looking at him and he's getting so tall. Not too long ago, he used to say, Mom, my knees hurt. My knees hurt. And even after going and seeking a medical professional just to make sure things is all copacetic, at the end of the day, when they put him against that chart, that height chart, I said, oh my God, look how tall you've become. Oh, your knees are hurting because your bones are stretching. You're growing. You've grown. You've grown. That was just a growing pain. Come on. God bless y'all today. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. First 7 days of the month, we're in consecration. In the morning, I get up. We have our morning meetup. So tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central, 4 a.m. Pacific. Where will y'all be? Right here, right? Y'all gonna get up with me in the morning? Yeah. 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central, 4 a.m. Pacific. I'll see y'all in the morning. Go share if you haven't shared already. Go love it so we can put our heart into it. And then set your timer and make a promise. We'll see each other again tomorrow. Have a phenomenal day. Have a phenomenal day. I love you. And guess what? Can't do not one thing about it. Not one thing about it. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. God bless.